Yeah, before I get going on the upcoming Ole Miss game, apparently there was some misunderstanding. People obviously want to take some stuff I say and twist it. I'm fairly used to that. But when I referred to Cliff being tough, come back from an ankle injury, I had nothing in my head at all about Janai Broom's ankle injury. When I saw the video of Janai Broom's injury, it looked like he broke it. Significantly different injuries. Saying that one of our guys is tough does not insinuate that somebody from another team is not. It's two totally separate injuries. So if somebody misconstrued that, similar to when I say that Holloway's playing well for us, that doesn't mean that had anything to do with the coaching staff at his previous school. That some players need a year in college and they play a little bit better. So Holloway's been playing great. Cliff's tough. Doesn't insinuate that anything about the other great program in our state who's currently best team in the country. So we'll get that straight moving forward for anybody that tried to twist my words on Cliff's injury. I thought Cliff was tough. He practiced in a limited role today. I thought he looked pretty good. I would expect him to go tomorrow. And he was good for us after he twisted his ankle on Saturday. So on the injury front, Houston had two really bad knees when he came in. He's made a ton of progress on them since he's got here, but they continue to have to be evaluated, and he goes backwards on some stuff. We got to keep that, and he's still got limited practice deals, so we're going to actually keep him out tomorrow. So Cliff will be in, Houston will be out like he was last game. And we've got plenty of bodies. We needed all of our depth Saturday with the foul trouble we had, so hopefully we can stay out of foul trouble against Ole Miss. Ole Miss has been good. Their defense, if you look at SEC-only games, they got the best defense in the conference. They've been doing an unbelievable job shutting teams down. Our offense is going to have to be on point. They turn people over quite a bit. We've had issues with turnovers for large parts of this year. We had 15 of them against A&M. Ole Miss does some similar things defensively like A&M. They're different than A&M in some ways as well. So we're going to have to do a better job taking care of the ball. On our end, Ole Miss has a lot of really good players. I didn't think we did a great job on Phelps. We kind of let him get to what he wanted to do. I believe Ole Miss has 7 guys that have scored 1,000 points or more in their career. We're going to have to guard them all. We're going to have to do a good job with the personnel and the scouting report, but they're good. I mean, there's 3 teams left undefeated in SEC play, us, Auburn, and them, and we've got them coming to our building. So this game's going to go a long ways in determining who's going to be in the mix to win an SEC championship as we continue to move through conference play.
What have you thought of the way that your bench has played, particularly in the last 6 games, the way they've produced in terms of points?
I mean, our bench has been great. I mean, we've gotten more scoring off the bench than our opponents most games. Holloway is leading the SEC in field goal percentage. He comes in, he shoots it well. He scored in double figures in 5 straight games. I expect to see him come in and kind of provide that quick spark. I mean, a 3 pulled up in transition. I love that. I think he needs to do that more. I think he's still turning down open threes. I don't ever want him to turn anything down. If he's open inside about 26, 27 feet, he needs to shoot it. So he's been great for us. I think Darian Reed's been really good for us off the bench, providing a scoring punch. He's pushing double figures in most games, if not over double figures. Diabate's had really good games for us. Youngblood's coming off the bench and been playing really well. So he was a conference player of the year last year, and we currently have him coming off the bench. So you kind of go down the list of some guys that, been able to put in and give us production. We've got a lot of guys. I mean, we've been playing 10 guys, and all 10 of them are capable of scoring it, in bunches. Game before, Aiden Sherrill at 7 points in limited minutes. He's capable of scoring it as well. So our bench has been great. We need the depth. We need the scoring off the bench.
Yeah, what would you say would be kind of the biggest reason for Cliff's improved production once SEC play has started?
Listen, I think he had to take a little. He played a long time in the same system, significantly slower than ours, differently on defense. And it took him a while to get used to our pace, get comfortable in the system. The less you have to think, the more instinctual, the more aggressive. His game needs to be aggressive, attacking, instinctual, athletic, getting up, catching lobs. I think he's finding his spots in our offense a little bit better. So, and defensively, he's been good. Really happy with Cliff's play. I love him as a kid. I've loved him as a kid since the dad met him. He's like, if you guys ever get to sit down and talk to him, he's such a great young man to talk to, and he wants to do well. He's like unbelievable person that way. I think he just had to figure out how he could help this team win, and literally no complaining from him, anybody in his camp, nobody. Just what do I need to do to help us win? And I need you to continue to get better at this. It's not about him at all. It's about what he can do to help the team. And I think those kind of guys end up figuring it out eventually.
You talked about Chris coming off the bench, just with his recent performance, and then this matchup. Is this a matchup where you can maybe go more guard heavy, more 3-guard lineup? Yeah,
exactly. I think A&M obviously plays big. They've got strong wing types. Ole Miss probably has some more guard types. Jalen Murray's very good coming off the bench. They'll shoot. Jamin Breakfield's kind of a wing guard, big wing. They'll play him at the small ball 5. So this is definitely a game where we can probably go a little bit smaller than what we did last game, and even maybe than what we have in the past. So, with Youngblood playing as well as he has, and LeBaron and Mark and Holloway all playing as well as they have, keeping 3 of those 4 out there for longer stretches would probably make more sense this game.
You mentioned Holloway and his field goal percentage, and I know we knew about the 3-point shooting coming in, but just how's he kind of grown as a scorer overall, maybe hunting some of those shots inside the arc and being successful there?
Yeah, we want him to get more aggressive. I think he figures it out when he gets in the lane pretty well. He's got unbelievable touch. We don't take many non-rim twos, but I'm more than comfortable with him shooting some of those paint floaters, and he makes them at a really high clip. So I've kind of told him that, like, look, you get in the paint, Big's in a drop, that, like, go ahead and shoot it. So he's comfortable shooting it. He's getting comfortable in our offense, how aggressive we want him to be, and he's got a pretty good finishing package. His skill level's as high as about anybody he's obviously much different than Quinterly, but in similar regard with the finishing package at the rim. And, Holloway's been able to shoot it at a high clip. Quinterly worked really hard to get his shot up, but those 2 guys are smaller guards that are ridiculously skilled, and I think you're starting to see more and more of Holloway's skill.
Back-to-back hard hats for Jaron. Just what have you seen from him to kind of keep him in the starting lineup, even though the point production might not be there?
Yeah, I mean, he's about the right stuff. He's always been about the right stuff. I think he's tried to please the coaching staff so much to the point of not afraid to make a mistake almost. I kind of met with them and just said, look, man, don't be afraid to make a mistake. Just make sure it's a mistake of commission. You're committing a mistake, not an omission where you're just not getting beat, just be a little more aggressive. If you think maybe you should go block the shot, just go block the shot. We'll get you back over there. So, if you think maybe you should do it, just go do it. Let's just start being more aggressive. Let's have an attacking mentality on the defense and offensive end. If you get beat occasionally because you're a little more aggressive, that's great. We're all right. You're 6'10". You can catch up, cover your mistakes. Herb Jones got beat plenty when he was here. He's the best defender I've ever coached. He gets beat. He comes back, pins it to the backboard. I had to show Herb clips of Kawhi Leonard getting beaten, pinning shots to the backboard. The best defenders don't play mistake-free games. Keanu Ellis would get beat. He's starting in the NBA because he guards and makes threes at a high clip. Well, Keanu would get beat and come back and strip you from behind or pin it to the backboard too. So we just needed Jaron to be a little more aggressive, less afraid to make some mistakes that way. I think he's gotten that way here in the last couple of games.
It looked like Mo Diabate has put on some muscle in the upper body since last season. Can you just speak to that? And his minutes are up to 8 minutes a game last year, about 14 this year. Are those two things connected?
I mean, Mo's a tough, hard-nosed New York City. Nothing phases him kind of kid. Now, I don't know how much time he spent in the weight room before he got here, but he definitely had a frame to put some weight on. Henry doesn't. I think he's the best strength coach in the country. I'm obviously biased, but if you're willing to work, Henry's going to put weight on you. Mo had the frame to put it on. Amanda, our dietitian, is best in the country too. So between, Henry and Amanda, they get him fed right. They put him in the weight room. He's got a great frame, a great work ethic. He puts weight on. He was already tough-minded, like attacks, rebounds, one of the best natural rebounders I've ever coached, and finishing at the rim. Now you put a little bit of weight on him. He was never weak, but he's strong. Like, you can't move him. I mean, he's, you look at our bigs. Cliff's obviously pretty tough and strong. Aiden Sherrell's big boy, but Mo D, Chris Youngblood's strong guard. There's some guys on our team that are hard to move, and he's right at the top of that list. And I can think you kind of see it in some of these tough games, A&M, Houston, when we need some toughness. His minutes have gone up. We got to get him to continue to stay locked in. He was shooting free throws at a high clip early in the year. He gets fouled a lot. We need him to get back to making free throws at a high clip and continuing to rebound. And he's a switchable defender. You can go small ball 5. He can switch 1 through 5. We put him on guards. He's done a good job. So, yeah, I think him being stronger with his game that he plays certainly helps him, though.
Hey, Coach, do you have any thoughts on the men's basketball managers also having an undefeated start to conference play? And can you talk a little bit about Houston Millette's involvement with the team, if he has any? I saw him in a picture.
How do you even know? Are they putting that out on some social media site or something?
They have a Twitter account.
Oh, our managers have their own Twitter account. Wow, way to stay behind the scenes, managers. Well, it's nice. And they're undefeated. They're 3-0. Is that what they are? Have they played in?
They're 2-0, apparently.
Oh, which place didn't have a manager game?
They played at South Carolina, and they won at South Carolina as well.
So they won at South Carolina, and they won at A&M. That's good. I used to play in that man. So for those of you that don't know, the managers usually try to get with. So Oklahoma managers bailed on us. They didn't travel with enough managers, I guess, here. So, yeah, when I was at Buffalo, we didn't have an army of managers like we have here. We'd had like 1 or 2. So that manager game kind of becomes like support staff. At Buffalo was like coaches too. Like I used to play in that a few times and then get a little heated and not so sure I should be there, and foul calls don't go the right way. So I haven't played in that here at Alabama, but we got pretty good managers here. Some of the grad assistants, I think, play. JJ, our GA, Jonathan Jefferson. I don't think Dudley shows up. I think if he did, it might not be fair, because I think he can still play a little bit. But I know Wes was a grad assistant that was a manager here, can really play. Max Thorpe was a walk-on at Florida State. He's playing in it. JJ, Ben Potts, who was with the Pistons before he got with us and practiced with them, plays occasionally. I'm trying to think who else. I don't want to leave somebody out. I know Christian Pino, that played for me at both Romulus and Buffalo, as a walk-on. He's on full-time staff, plays with the manager sometimes. I did hear he missed a couple clutch free throws and had a play that would have definitely got pulled out for at the end of the game. Houston, because he wasn't playing in our game, didn't need to study a bunch of film that night, asked me if he could go. So I think Houston was trying to start his coaching career, and I usually get a report back either that night or the next morning. I heard we were up 15 with 2 or 3 to play, and then they ended up missing a 3 that would have won the game at the buzzer. So we didn't close very well in our game, up 15 with about 7 to go, I think. I don't know if that was started the night before by Pino taking bad shots and missing free throws, but yeah, our managers, they're passionate about the game. Most managers get into this thing because they love basketball. They played. Zeb played down. I think he's down Mobile area, Fairhope, I believe. Maybe played with one of our walk-ons down there. It's pretty good. But yeah, we got some players. We got some GAs and some support staff that playing the game. So I haven't been to it. I'm usually trying to get ready for the next game, but it's good to know they're 2-0. Hopefully they get a game against Ole Miss. That would be tonight. I don't know if Ole Miss has enough guys to play or not, but congratulations. Way to stay behind the scenes, managers.
Ole Miss has 4 guards that are all top 4 on the team in scoring. Just what have you really seen from their backcourt?
Listen, Matthew Morrell, who we tried to recruit out of high school, we were unsuccessful. He went to Ole Miss. He's had an unbelievable career there. I've got a ton of respect for him. He's tough, physical, can shoot it at a high level, can get to paint. He's really good. Padula, who we also tried to recruit as a transfer, decided to go to Ole Miss. Super skilled, really tough. I love him. I think he's a great player. Those 2 guys, both good. They bring Murray off the bench. He's got a lot to his game. I mean, he's quick. He's explosive. He can get in the paint. He's gonna be a tough cover. Like he's a jet. He can shoot threes. So, and then is Davis the other one? Yeah, you're talking about. I mean, he's really good too. So they've had, or is it Barnes? Is it Davis or Barnes that's in their 4th? Yeah, that's what I thought. So they put someone in the starting line, bring someone off the bench. So we just have played some teams. South Carolina, who's leading scorers with a front court. Then we went to A&M, who's, more backcourt, and I didn't think we did a good job on Phelps. So now we've got a back-to-back. And before that, Oklahoma was a backcourt. And we did a pretty good job for a large part of that game. So we got to get back to where a lot more like the beginning of the Oklahoma game in this game, because those guys can all go, and our guys got to know who's coming off the bench and can go. And we're going to have to do a good job. They got really good guards, and they do a ton of respect for their staff. But they do a really good job of moving you around, a lot of motion, concepts, and then they're attacking. So you're busy guarding some action, and the action's got some real players in it, so you can't ignore it. And then all of a sudden somebody's beating somebody. So you got to have some good on-ball, defense, because sometimes your help side gets a little distracted with trying to guard their motion, and we got to do a better job not being distracted while still knowing how to guard that. So they run good offense. They got good players. We got our work cut out for us tomorrow. That's why they're a good team. I mean, shoot, SEC's full of good teams, and they're 1 of 3 tied at the top right now. So, all right, appreciate you guys.